everyone, and welcome back to the meaning of Hanuman Chalisa. This is part 4 of our series titled The Part 2 Liberation, and I am Jen.
And I am Zara. In our previous episodes, we covered the foundational qualities of Hanumanji, his incredible feats, and his role as a protector and fulfiller of desires in Chopais 1 through 30.
Today we reach the powerful conclusion of Hanuman Chalisa. Chapai 31 through 40 are all about the transformative power of connecting with Hanumanji's essence, leading to freedom from suffering, ultimate fulfillment, and spiritual liberation.
This is where everything culminates. We'll see how embodying these qualities helps us overcome even the deepest inner challenges and truly find inner peace and joy.
Okay, let's dive right into the Chapai 31, which focuses on inner healing. Asht Siddhi No Nidhi Ke Data Asbar Deen Jaan Ki Mata.
The modern vibe says, you are the giver of the 8 spiritual powers and 9 types of wealth. This boon was granted to you by Mother Chani. So, breaking down those words starting with Asht Siddhi, 8 spiritual powers, these are often seen as superhuman abilities, but for us, think of them as mastery over your own being. It's about developing incredible focus, agility, foresight, or the ability to manifest your intentions, talents that feel almost magical in everyday life. And Nidhi, or we also say Navnidhi. 9 types of wealth. This isn't just about money, it includes all forms of prosperity, good health, strong relationships, inner peace, knowledge, and material well being. It's about holistic abundance. Kedata, the giver. He bestows these capabilities upon those who connect with his energy. Asbar Deen Janki Mata. This boon was bestowed by Mother Janki. This highlights that these immense powers come through purity, unwavering devotion, and grace. It's a testament to the power gained through selfless service.
Oh wow, that's amazing. You have nicely explained these Chopais. The idea that we can tap into those inner powers and abundance. What about Chopai 32? Ram Rasayan Tumre Pasa Sada Raho Raghupati Ke Dasa. What's the modern vibe to this?
Well, it goes like this. You possess the divine elixir of Rama's name. You are eternally devoted to Lord Rama. Ram Rasayan, the divine elixir of Rama's name. Think of this as the ultimate healing balm or transformative substance. Lord Rama here represents divine truth, universal harmony, and profound inner peace. Hanumanji carries this essence within him. Tumhare pasa, in your possession. It means Hanumanji embodies and carries his powerful essence, making him a source of profound healing and transformation for others. Sada Raho, always remain. This points consistency and unwavering commitment. Raghupati ke Dasa, it means always remain. Raghupati ke Dasa, servant of Lord Rama. This signifies eternal dedication to a higher purpose or noble ideal. Hanumanji's greatness comes from his complete lack of ego in his service.
Now we are moving on to the Chopai 33, a powerful promise about his presence. Tumro bhajan Ram ko pave, janam janam ke dukh bisrave. How does this relate to us today? Can you explain?
Yeah, tumre bhajan Ram ko pave, janam janam ke dukh bisrave. It's a wonderful chopai. By remembering you means Hanumanji here. One attains Lord Rama. It helps forget the sorrows of countless lifetimes. Tumre bhajan Ram ko pave. That's wonderful. Means by remembering or by praying Hanumanji, one attains Rama. This means that by embodying Hanumanji's qualities, his devotion, strength, and selflessness, you connect with your highest self or true purpose. It's a direct path. Janam janam ke dukh bisrave. Forget the sorrows of countless lifetimes. This is deep. It means releasing past burdens, old patterns of suffering, and deep seated fears. It's about profound healing and letting go of karmic baggage.
That's truly about liberation. What about Chupai 34? अंतकाल रघुबर पुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई. What's the modern take on this?
Wow. This is also a wonderful chopai again. It means at the end of life, one goes to Lord Rama's abode, or if reborn, one is known as a devotee of God. Antakal Raghuvar Purjai. This refers to spiritual liberation or ultimate peace. It's about reaching a state of enlightenment or union with the divine. Jahan Janm Hari Bhakt Kahai, where if reborn one is called a devotee of God. This is the alternative. If not full liberation, then a life dedicated to goodness, devotion, and spiritual growth. It's a guarantee of a purposeful and blessed existence.
Great. Now we are moving on to the Chupai 35. A universal statement about devotion. और देवता चितना धरहि, हनुमत सही सब सुख करहि.
Modern vibe is you don't need to focus on other deities by serving Hanumanji or embodying his qualities. All happiness is achieved. Or Devta Chitna Dhare. Do not place mind on other deities. This isn't exclusive. It means that Hanumanji's path is so complete and he embodies so many divine qualities that focusing on him is enough to achieve all spiritual aims. It's about singular, powerful focus, and Hanumat se sarv sukh karai. Serving Hanumanji achieves all happiness. This means by cultivating and living by Hanumanji's principles, selfless service, strength, wisdom, and devotion, you naturally attract all forms of joy, peace, and well-being into your life.
Oh, that's wonderful, and that's what we want our viewers to attract, all form of joy, peace, and well-being into their life. And we also think reciting Hanuman Chalisa can attract all kind of peace and sense of clarity that we need in our lives these days. So now we are moving on to the Chupai 36. Sankat kate mite sab pira, jo sumire Hanumat balbira.
These final chopais really bring it home, emphasizing the profound benefits of connecting with this powerful energy, starting with Chopai 36 that we want our viewers to attract, and we also want our viewers to get rid of all kind of problems and issues. That's what this Chopai mean. Sankat kate mite sab pira, jo sumire Hanumat balbira. All troubles are cut down and all suffering disappears for whoever remembers the brave Hanumanji. Troubles are cut, all sufferings ends. This is a direct promise of relief from all forms of adversity, whether they are mental, emotional, or physical. Jo sumire Hanumat balbira, whoever remembers the brave Hanumanji. Again, this means consciously connecting with, invoking, and embodying his courageous and powerful qualities. It's about aligning your inner self with his strength.
Yes, now we are moving on to the Chupai 37, a promise for the one who recites. So whoever recites, it gives them a promise of life. Jai 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 Hanuman Gosai, Kripa Karhu Gurudev Ki Nai. What's the modern take?
Okay. Victory, victory, victory to Lord Hanumanji. Please bestow your grace upon me like a divine teacher. Jai 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 Hanuman Gosai. This is a powerful affirmation and exclamation of triumph. It's a deep acknowledgement of his ultimate victory over all challenges. Kripa Karu Gurudev Ki Nai. This is a plea for guidance, blessings, and transformative wisdom. Just as a wise teacher would impart to a student, it's asking for his empowering influence.
And now for the Chupai 38, a very important part of the Chalisa. Jo satpar paat kar koi, chhut hi bandi mahasukh hoi. Amazing line.
Yeah, truly amazing. Whoever recites this Chalisa, or the, you can say, most powerful hymn 100 times, is freed from bondage and attains great happiness. This signifies consistent, dedicated, and sincere practice. It's not just about the number, but the devotion and commitment behind it. And Chutihi Bandi, freed from bondage. This is about liberation from all forms of limitations, mental, emotional, physical, or spiritual. It means breaking free from anything that holds you back. Mahasukh Hoi, attains great happiness. This promises profound, lasting inner joy and contentment, a state of true bliss that comes with freedom.
Exactly. Now we are moving on to the Chopai 39, a final blessing. जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा होए सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा. What is this powerful promise here?
Whoever reads this Hanuman Chalisa, their desires are fulfilled with Shiva himself as the witness. Jo yah padhe Hanuman Chalisa. This is a direct reference to the act of engaging with a hymn, whether by reciting, listening, or simply understanding its meaning, as we are trying to do. Hoye Siddhi. This means achieving one's goals, mastering oneself, and finding success in endeavors. Sakhi Gaurisa. Shiva, Lord of Gauri, is the witness. This signifies that this promise is divinely witnessed and guaranteed. It adds immense weight and assurance to the benefits.
Yes, and finally the concluding couplet, the ultimate statement of devotion and purpose. Tulsi Das, Sada Hari Chera, Kije Nath Hriday Mahadera. So Tulsi Das ji wrote this hymn. So what's the beautiful closing message here?
Okay, Zen, we would like to share with our audience that Tulsi Das ji, the author, is forever a devotee of God, and it means, O Lord, please make my heart your dwelling place. Tulsi Das Sada Hari Chera. This is the author's humble statement of lifelong devotion and surrender to the divine. It emphasizes humility even in greatness. Kije Nath Hriday Mohandera. O Lord, make my heart your dwelling place. This is the ultimate prayer for inner connection and presence. It's asking for the divine qualities of Hanumanji and Lord Rama permanently reside within one's own being, guiding every thought and action.
Now our last doha of Hanuman Chalisa is Pavan Tane Sankat Harar Mangal Ram Lakhan Sita Sahit Hriday Basu Surbhoop.
Okay, so modern vibe says, O son of wind, remover of all troubles, you are the embodiment of blessings and auspiciousness. May you always reside in my heart along with Lord Rama, Lakshmana, and Goddess Sita. Pavan Tanaya refers to Hanuman as the son of wind, highlighting his strength, speed, and divine origin. Sankat Haran, one who removes difficulties, symbolizing hope during stress, confusion, or fear. Mangal Murti Roop. Hanuman is seen as the very form of goodness, well-being, and auspiciousness. Ram Lakhan Sita Sahit invokes the presence of the divine trio, Lord Rama, his brother Lakshmana, and Goddess Sita. Hriday Basahu Surbhu, a heartfelt prayer that this divine presence, including Hanumanji, stays within our heart, guiding and protecting us. So, what can we conclude? This couplet reflects a desire for inner peace, strength, and divine companionship. In today's world full of stress, distractions, and fear, this line is a humble request for inner resilience, clarity, and spiritual balance, qualities that Hanumanji and Ramayana figures represent.
Alright, and that brings us to the end of our journey through the Hanuman Chalisa, from recognizing our inherent power to finding protection and ultimately liberation and fulfillment. This hymn offers a complete roadmap for the meaningful life.
Yeah, it really does. And you know, Zen, it's not the ending, it's the real beginning, especially for the ones who were not aware of the meaning of Hanuman Chalisa and just used to recite it as a hymn or as a tradition or as a ritual. It gives a kind of clarity to almost each and everyone, whoever is a part of our podcast. And it's not just ancient verse, but a living guide to cultivating strength, wisdom, and unwavering devotion in our very modern world. What an incredible experience breaking this down with you, Zen.
Yes, indeed, Jara. We hope this series has powerful impact on our viewers, and this has provided you with valuable insights and tools for your own inner compass. Until next time, keep connecting with that source of peace and power within you.
Okay, everyone, so this was all about Hanuman Chalisa, and here we are done with our 4 episodes of the meaning of Hanuman Chalisa, and we tried to explain it in a very simple language so that each and everyone can understand and inculcate the meaning in their own lives. So, goodbye, everyone. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.